Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today, let's try to talk English. It's the first. And secondly, let's try to make out the difference between two famous adjectives, namely big and large. Yeah. So maybe they seem so familiar and so native to us that we even just sometimes don't think about this difference. Yes? But if you think about it, as I did recently, I found that really I lack some kind of knowledge about it. Though I have used them thousands of times in my spoken English and in writing, yes, but I found that I needed to ascertain, to clarify the difference. And so maybe now within several minutes we will do so together. Okay, of course, before shooting this video I made such a small research in the internet resources, in different forums and grammar, reference books and so on, trying to clarify this thing. Okay, friends, so the first greatest rule in this case, as luckily is with most of such cases of comparison, some kind of adjectives and so on, is that they are this big and large, they are 99, let's say, % interchangeable. It means that don't worry, take it easy when you're using them. It makes not a big deal if you confuse them or something like that. So 99 or maybe even more %. For example, if you say a big tree or a large tree, a big house or a small or or a large house, it is okay. So I always mention about this anxiety or something when you speak, that because it's a very important point here. The less we care about what we say, the better we speak, because we don't try to control, to filter our utterances and all that jazz. That's why feel easy about this and don't be afraid to make any mistake. By the way, if you watch some of my videos, you know that I love our mistakes in English, because they allow us to get higher and higher in our skills and knowledge and so on. And remember that nobody is perfect, even the native speakers. And also English is such a language which combines thousands of aspects and features of various languages, so to make a mistake is okay. And that's why big or large, use them as you like. It's the basic thing. Yes, so our foundation. But on this foundation, if you wanna be a professor of linguistics, yes, let's build some edifice of our knowledge. Yes. So some people say that they prefer the history, like the history. Big is considered to be more British, let's say, more English than large, because big existed in English already. I don't remember exactly, but maybe let's say in the 7th century or the 8th century, something big already existed, while large didn't. Large was borrowed, was assimilated from French about in the middle centuries. And so, a lot of words, borrowed from French, they are deemed more formal. So, and that's the case also. So large is considered a bit more formal than big. So you can try when you're writing something, or so consider that if you write large, you say, it will sound more formal than if you just say big. Big is like more colloquial. Yes. Okay, here's the first point. So the second point. Let's try to remember, friends, that you remember there is no such a rigid rule. No. I only say that some people prefer in this case. So a lot of people prefer to use large when we speak about the dimensions of some, let's say, flat area, or the inner dimensions of some object. Okay, let's start with this flat area. For example, a large field, so a field is mostly flat, and so we say a large field, meaning the area of this field. You can also say a big field, but as I remember, as I maybe recollect and remind you for the third or fourth time, that a lot of people would prefer to say a large field instead of a big field, because we speak of, let's say, a pool or a basin. Again, so we mean inner dimensions of this concept, of this object, yes? And so inner dimensions, like maybe large more than big. A large pool, a large basin, even try to feel it. When we say a large house, maybe some people will think that we mean the inner contents, the interior of the house. You see? Okay, and when we speak about such, let's say, protruding things, trees, houses again, cars and something, maybe if you use big, it will sound a little bit more natural. For example, a big tree, because we are speaking about the exterior of an object, a big tree. Not the area, not the inner side, but the exterior, a big tree. A big car, meaning the car, we look at it from outside, yes, and we see that the car is big. If you say a large car, maybe I mean that the interior of the car, the salon and so on, is, I mean the inside rather than the outside. A large house, again, if I say a large house, I mean that this is a spacey house, and so more maybe than I mean the outer house. Okay, you get it, I think, yes? But remember, for the fourth time, I remind you that it's just the preference of some people. There is no rigid rule about this, about the size of objects. Okay, lest I should forget anything, because, I hate peeping periodically into some scenarios or plots or something drafts. And that's why I'm speaking just off the top of my head, and sometimes I forget some important things, maybe. But it's my style, so I ask you to pardon me in advance if I forget something. If you want to provide an extensive research on this, so you're welcome to browse the internet, and there everything is awaiting you in. So, okay. Now, when we speak about people, or maybe animals, okay, try to feel the difference also, because here the difference is maybe a little bit more tangible. So when I say a big boy, I mean first of all that he is an adult, we say, or maybe he behaves like a big one, already a grown-up, you see. But when I say a large boy, no meaning about his mental abilities or behavior, I just mean his outer dimensions. So when I say, oh, okay, good boy, a big boy, you behave like a big boy, we mean that even when the boy is small, or little, as we say, yes, he's behaving like an adult. So we are praising him a little bit, we are rewarding him, and that's why we say big boy. But when I say, oh, daddy, look, there is such a large boy, 99%, I'm sure I mean a large by dimensions boy. That he is larger than the average size of the boys of his age. You understand, there's a large, maybe 2 by 2 meters, such a boy, yes, so I should say large. But when I mean big, most probably I mean that he behaves like an adult, but maybe also I can mean that he's just big. You remember, yes? So in this case the rule is very, very dubious or something like that, so not rigid. Yes. Okay. Also big is often used in the meaning of something like important or difficult or something. For example, a big decision. So we should take this big decision, yeah? Big meaning like important or maybe difficult. When I say the large decision, no, in this case better use big. A lot of idioms there are in the English language about this. A big gun, meaning an important person. A big shot, the same. So a large gun, a large shot, no. A big company, in this case, maybe you can use also large company. The same with a big family. Here we have two variants. Either we mean really physically a big family, meaning a lot of members, but in this case maybe we would use large, because if we say big, most probably we mean an important family, a wealthy family, a successful family, something like that. A big family. So you feel, yes, that in this case, when we speak about something important or difficult or complex, we use big. Yes. Okay, this is one more. And idioms, that in English there are, I say, thousands of idioms, yes, and mostly in those idioms we can meet the word big, yes, rather than large. Also there are some idioms with large, but big is preferable. By the way, big proudly boasts its place, its position in the first 1,000 words of the English language. I wouldn't be surprised if I learned maybe that it's just among 100 most used words in the English language, while large only places itself maybe somewhere in the first 3,000 words. So you see the difference is great. Big being somewhere at the top, and large being not at the very top, yes, somewhere lower and lower. Okay, also there is such an interesting fact that when we speak about numbers, quantities and amounts, again, a lot of people would prefer to use large. For example, a large number of people. I can see a large number of people walking in the street. Though, you know, I performed research in some dictionaries and some, also I mean big number of people, a big amount, a big number, a big quantity. But some linguists say that in this case you're welcome to use large. A large quantity, a large number, a large amount, something like that. So from the field of quantity or of the amount. Okay guys, I think that I have covered most of the question about this difference between big and large. Let me remind you in my teacher fashion again, as I do it always for the 5th or 6th time, don't worry and take it easy about these two adjectives. You're welcome to use them, so when you're speaking fast, when you try to speak fluently, it's not a big deal if you confuse these two adjectives, because they are 99% interchangeable. Yes, only apart from those idioms, but idioms, you know, idioms are idioms, and set phrases are set phrases. But if you say a big tree or a large tree, yeah, it will be okay. If you want to convey some subtle meaning to listeners, then maybe you should think about what to say, big or large. But that's not such a situation which can be met, which can be faced by us often. Yeah, usually, I think when we communicate with someone, we don't speculate on such, I don't know, scientific, philosophical, or very precise topics requiring such, you know, shades of meaning. No. Okay guys, I wish you success in English and be yours easy and brilliant English. Love you guys. Bye.